Greg Dahl here from Life Fitness Management. So over the years, I've done a lot of New Year's resolution videos. This one's going to be a little bit different. My goal here is not to speak to people who are interested in making a change in January. My goal here is to speak to a person out there who understands that over the past year or two or 10, they've not been doing the things that they need to make their health a priority, and they're looking to change their life for the rest of their life. So as I've thought about how to do this, and I've talked to Lisa, and we've spoken in great lengths about changing our health in 2022 and being proactive after the year that we've had, I believe it's important to make a point, and I'm going to try to do that with a story. And it's a story of my dad. Now, some of you don't know this, and some of you do, that we lost my dad a little over 2 years ago in a blink of an eye. He was killed in a head-on tractor and trailer accident. And that day, I lost somebody who was extremely influential to me. And I want to back up a little bit, because whenever I spoke at his funeral, I didn't talk about that day. I started out talking about a day that happened 10 years prior to that, the day he had a heart attack. He was raking leaves in the yard at his house getting ready for winter, and he got a sharp pain across his chest that put him to his knees and brought him into a cold sweat. So he made his way up over the hill and into the house and got on the phone, then called 911, of course. He called my mom and he said, "Bets, I think I pulled a muscle in my chest. I'm in a lot of pain. I might have to go to the doctor. Maybe you want to think about coming home, or maybe you should come home." At least that's what my mom heard. What I can tell you about John Dahl was, when he called and told you he was in pain and that he thought he might have to go to the doctor, you better get there as fast as you can, because something serious was going on. So she left work. 25 minutes later, she got there and found my dad sitting on the couch in his underwear, still in a cold sweat, still in pain. Afraid, I'm sure, I know. I don't know for sure that if he thought he could get his clothes on at the time. But they did get him together. They got his clothes on. They got him to the hospital, where by a stroke of luck, fate, faith, a miracle, whatever the case may be, there was a cardiologist there making his rounds who took on my dad as he came into the hospital. I got there shortly after that because my mom had called me on the trip. So when we were sitting there in the emergency room, of course, my dad was sitting there, and the nurse came into the room and said, "I've seen blood levels in heart attack patients this high before, but they were on dead people." At that moment, I was overcome with fear of the unknown, because at that point, my dad was still technically having a heart attack. I mean, he was heading from there. And I know, because my dad is a jokester, and when he was nervous, he joked and talked. And he said, "Well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big." And he sure did. Fast forward through that situation, which was a very anxious situation, and lots of prayers and lots of thoughts were going through our heads. But he went to surgery. He came out of surgery. The doctor came out and said he did well. He's going to be fine. But in that moment, my dad decided to make a resolution. He was going to take his health more seriously. He did a lot of things different that day. He was a great man, and he became a greater man that day. But he didn't live the healthy lifestyle that we preach here at Life Fitness Management necessarily. He was very active. He took part in the snake diet. And if you're not aware of what that is, you get up in the morning and you drink coffee, maybe a pot and a half through the day, until you get done with whatever it is you're doing that day, clear to evening, and then you eat as much as you can. You lean back in the chair, taking a deep breath, and you do that consistently over and over again. Well, that's what he did. When he ate a pecan pie, or a piece of pecan pie, he didn't eat a piece, he ate the whole pie. That's how he presented himself. That's what he did, and he did it for years and years. So he changed that. He changed the way he ate. He changed the way he exercised. He changed the way he did a lot of things in reference to his health and fitness, and fear got him there. Quite frankly, that heart attack changed his thought process because he did not want to risk not being here long term. So that day, all of those things, and the reason I talked about that at his funeral was we got a second chance with my dad that day. So as you think about that out there with your health, second chances don't always come. And my goal is not to scare you, but my goal is to give you an idea of what he would have missed had he not had that second chance that day. Things like his grandson becoming an Eagle Scout. Things like his granddaughter swimming, grandson graduating, coaching youth football with me for many years, with great joy. Singing with his wife in the choir. Things that he cherished and I can tell you made a huge amount of joy in his life. He got the opportunity to do those things. So as you go into 2022, remember, we are not guaranteed a second chance. You have a chance right now to take your health and make a proactive effort to be healthier in 2022 and on into the rest of your life. And we all know that if we do that, our risk of those things like a heart attack or diabetes or heart disease or cancer or even viruses that are out there, you're far more likely to not have an adverse effect of those things if your health is right, if you're at a healthy weight, if you're doing the things you need to do to be healthier. So our goal with the video here is not, again, to scare you into doing something, but make you aware if you're sitting there and you recognize that you need to make some changes in your health so that you're there for the people who love you and are around you for the rest of your life. Now is the opportunity. It's your health and your choice. Yes, I lost my dad a little over 2 years ago, but I got a bonus round with him. I got 10 years of bonus round with him. And during that time, he took his health seriously. You need to start taking your health seriously today so you're there for the people who love you tomorrow and on into the future. Your health, your choice.